They want us to board their dogs and watch the.
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes behind getting on here. I was trying to get Facebook to show on my phone, on my iPad, but it won't show up. So I was trying to get that set up and it's not working. So if you are on Facebook, I can't get this to go live today. It might be live, but I can't see what you're saying. So I don't know. Facebook's acting weird, y'all. So if you're on Facebook, hello, you might want to come over to the Zoom room so that I can talk with you. Hey, and when you come on here tonight, please say hello. Let me know if you had a perfect day, if you think you had a perfect day. Hey, Pat. Hey, Phyllis. Glad you're back. Hey, Candace and Denise. Hello, everyone. This is Denise. Looking forward to day 2. Awesome. Hey, Cheryl. We're so glad you're here. Hey, Angie. Awesome. We've got a great group tonight. A really great group. Okay, so it says, sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. I tell you what, if y'all will bear with me one more second, I am going to stop the live stream and try to make it go live again. Hey, Denise. Kimberly had a perfect day. Looking forward tonight. Awesome. Hey, Angelia. Awesome. Yeah, I had a perfect day today too, to start off November. And I even ate at Copeland's. I had salad, no dressing, just because I don't like dressing, not because I can't have it. Then I had the grilled chicken and I had broccoli and cauliflower and unsweet tea sweetened with my own little sweetener. Okay, let's try one more time on Facebook, so I don't leave off the Facebook people. In the Zoom room, we have a better connection because it is immediate. So I do like it when y'all come in the Zoom room. But some people don't know how to get in there. Okay, I'm on Facebook now. Okay, if you are on Facebook, please take a second to say hello. Let me know that you see me now. It was acting a bit weird. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to get started. Thank you all for being here. If you are not a Shibboleth member, please know that you're our special guest. The first class is always free. So we're happy to have you here. Hey, Chris on Facebook. Hey, Teresa. Let's see, Beth. Hey, Kim, I'm back. My daughter and husband are thinking about joining. They are going to do fast track. Awesome, Beth. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I hope they enjoy it, like what they hear, like what they see. And it's wonderful. It works. If you apply this, if you do it, it works. I'm telling y'all, it works. I've been doing it now for 2.5 years. Bing, bang, boom. No problem now. You know, it does take time to change habits, but at least we're having fun while we're doing it, eating some yummy stuff too. Okay. If you are a brand new member, please know that we're so thankful that you saw something that you found value in and that you trusted us enough to join. So thank you for that. And if you don't have a membership yet, you can get that at shibbolethdeals.com, shibbolethdeals.com. Hey, Deborah, back for more. Oh, I love that. Deborah says back for more of my inspiration. I love it. Hey, Michelle, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Victoria, that's awesome. I love it. But a membership is only $50 for a year. So we would love for you to get that at shibbolethdeals.com. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. And I want to be in fast track. Okay, so I just clicked on fast track. And in lap 2, I'm not going over this tonight with you because these are the little things that you need to do individually to get your account all set up, because this is a phenomenal website. Lots of development has gone into this website, and they'll do a lot of things for you if you give it the info to do it with. So that's getting your account set up. But what I am using tonight, the website that I'm using tonight is right here, the Simple Food Combining website. So when you get to that part in lap 2, you can either have a look at it and know, okay, that's what she covered, let me look back at that, or you can just know that's where you could always access it and then just check it off, okay? So let's go ahead and click there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, I'm going to recap cooking oils, because we did start talking about cooking oils last night. And by the way, if you are here in this class for the very first class with Shibboleth, please stay. You're welcome to stay, but make sure that you watch last night's video too, as soon as you can, because it's the lifestyle overview, and that's what's going to help you know how the whole thing goes together, okay? So I'm going to recap cooking oils. And then I didn't even talk about condiments last night. So we're going to talk about condiments tonight. And then as we come to a new category, I'm going to read the list of foods there. And then I'm not going to reread them every time because they're the same. I'm only going to read the list when we get to a new category. All right. So let's talk about cooking fats, cooking oils and fats. You could do up to 1 tablespoon of these as needed. Obviously, you wouldn't need a tablespoon of 0-calorie cooking spray, but you can use up to a tablespoon of these other things. So the Shibboleth is all about some simple swaps. You are simply swapping some of your foods around that you're buying. You're swapping around what you're eating on the plate together, and you're swapping around some oils. It's just simple swaps. So the very first oil that we would recommend is 100% MCT oil. MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. And here's the good news. It has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. Amen. I don't want any new fat. So this is what I buy. I've not bought anything else. Zero Drag is the kind I buy. I buy it from our little store, and I haven't bought anything else in 2.5 years. Okay. What were you using before Shibboleth? Probably, not everybody, but probably a canola oil, a vegetable oil, an olive oil. Well, those are long chain triglycerides, and they have a great propensity to be stored on your body as fat. So I just eliminated those. You can also use coconut oil. It's 66% MCTs, but it's not 100. And then you could use ghee butter. Ghee butter is just butter. It's been clarified, meaning all the milk solids have been pulled out of it, and it's just the fat that's left, and it's about 25% MCT, okay? And so you can use all of those. I often see ghee butter being used in recipes or cooking shellfish or some other things. I don't spread ghee butter on toast. If I want some toast, I use Brummel brown yogurt butter. And if I'm making myself a grilled cheese, I'll use the I can't believe it's not butter spray. Okay, so MCT oil, I want you to know we use it for 3 reasons, and we use it for 3 reasons only. Cooking in a recipe, or making salad dressings. That's it. You do not need to take it as a supplement. We don't put it in bulletproof coffee. We don't put it in shakes. We don't just randomly take it. We use it purposefully for cooking in a pot, a pan, however you cook, cooking like if in a recipe, and making approved salad dressings. Those are the 3 ways only that you use MCT oil. All right, so let's talk about condiments. Oh, let me give you this information. When I am cooking a lean protein, whether it comes from category 1 lean protein or category 7 shellfish, which is a lean protein, that's when I use MCT oil. But when I'm cooking a protein plus fat, it's already got fats in it. I don't need to use MCT oil in that particular case. So I don't in that particular case. That's where I would use 0-calorie cooking spray. So that's just how I make it. These are just decisions that once you've learned what to do, you just can make good decisions. Okay, condiments. Condiments are pretty important because this is what helps food taste like you want it to taste. What does chicken breast taste like if you have nothing on it? Chicken breast. Nothing on it. Chicken breast, chicken breast, chicken breast. But what if we wanted to have barbecue chicken? We need the right condiment. What if you want to have Italian chicken? You need the right condiment. What if you want to put chicken in a Mexican dish? You need the right condiment. So chicken's just like the base. Your condiments is what makes it taste like you want it to. So we got to learn which condiments to use. There are so many things that can be used as condiments that not every single one of those is going to make its way into the food library, although there are a whole bunch in there. But we want you to know that there's a rule about condiments. We call it the 5, 2, and few rule. 5, 2, and few. This is just a sprinkling. Okay, so what you're going to look at on a jar or something like that is 2 bits of information. You're going to be looking for the sugar content, and you're going to be looking for the fat content. You want it to have 5 grams of sugar or less per serving and 2 grams of fat or less per serving. So you're looking for 2, things: 5 grams of fat or less and 5 grams of sugar or less and 2 grams of fat or less. How do I remember when I'm standing in the grocery store which one is which? The word sugar has 5 letters in it. Okay, so you're looking for 5 grams of sugar or less and 2 grams of fat or less. So let me give you some practical application of this. One night I was at the grocery store and I always buy the Classico traditional pizza sauce. Normally I buy it at Kroger, but I was in Publix because I was picking up something else that I like over there, and I knew I needed pizza sauce. So I thought, I'm just going to go back to the pizza sauce area and I'm just going to get Classico traditional pizza sauce. I get back there and lo and behold, they didn't have any. They had 6 other pizza sauces. Now, I could have stood there and I could have typed in the name of every one of those little things in my mobile friendly website on my phone. I could have done that. But you know what? That would have taken a lot longer than what I did. What I did was I turned around all 6 on the shelf, and then I started scanning for the sugar content. If it had more than 5 grams of sugar, I flipped that one around, it's out of the running. And then I scanned for the fat content. If it had more than 2 grams of fat, I turned it around. It's out of the running. So out of the 6 that were available, 2 worked, and I just made a decision and bought one. And then what you don't want to do is you don't want to use more than 50 calories worth of condiments on a combined meal. So you can use up to 50 calories worth of condiments on a combined meal. And you can have multiple condiments on a meal. So let's say that you want to make yourself a 96% lean ground beef hamburger patty and you want a slice of cheese. Well, I would use Borden fat-free singles. That's what I like, but there's other fat-free singles that are available. And so I would use 1 slice of that. Well, that's 30 calories. That used up, check it again. Well, Michelle, I'd rather you be in the Zoom room, so stay over here, but I can still see it going over there. I can still see it going live. So you might want to refresh your page, meaning pull it down. I don't know. But hopefully those of you on Facebook, if it quit on Facebook, come over to the Zoom room. Okay, so that would take up 30 of my 50 calories. So I have 20 more to play around with. So as long as they meet the 5 and 2 part, then I can use a little bit of them in my 50 calories. So let's say that I want to add mustard. Well, typically mustard is 0 calorie. That wouldn't take up any of mine. Okay, Deborah says that, okay, thank you, Deborah. It wouldn't take up any of my calories. Well, then I have 20 calories still to play with. Maybe I want to add ketchup. As long as it meets the 5 and 2 rule and I just can use up to 50 calories of it, I've got 3 condiments on my burger and it's going to taste good. So that's kind of the way that you want to work that. But any 0 calorie condiment works fine. 15 calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo. And I just want you to know that the list of things that we go over tonight, these are tiny compared to what's in the food library that you have access to as a Shibboleth member. Okay, so last night, I went over the fact that there are 7 categories of food. And then I said that there's 5 of them that you can eat alone. You don't even have to combine it with anything. And lean protein is one of those things. So now you would just eat it under this hand. It doesn't mean you would do 2 servings of it. You would still just eat it under this one hand. You could do 2 to 8 ounces of that. Okay, so egg whites, fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef franks, and 96% lean ground meat. And again, small list. But now if I ever say anything that you don't like to eat, I want you to know, you just scratch it off your list. There is nothing that you have to eat on Planet Shibboleth that you don't like. You don't have to eat anything you don't like. Just scratch it off. There's plenty of food on this lifestyle that you'll find that you like. So don't worry about that. So I'm hoping that you saw something that you like, but if not, we'll just keep looking. Okay, so I just kind of like to hit some of these things. This 96% lean ground meat, this is that just ground processed meat, that you would brown up for taco meat or spaghetti or something like that. And it says meat, and what that means is beef, chicken, turkey, but it's that processed meat that you might brown up. And the reason this says boar's head is just because we know boar's head is very, very lean, but there's a lot of other deli meats that you can use. That's fine. Pork tenderloin is one of the only pork products in this category, although you can find some Canadian bacon that are category 1s too. Victoria says, what can I have with low-fat cottage cheese for lunch? You could eat it by itself. First of all, you could eat it by itself. And Victoria, ask me that again in the end because I might need to look that up. I don't eat cottage cheese. Anybody on Facebook can help Victoria out, and y'all can give me some examples. I'll toss them out to her. But you would want to eat a category 2 with it for sure. You could eat it by itself, but you could eat a category 2 with it. Michelle, I'm not sure that all boar's head is exactly the same. So what I always like to do is I like to look at the nutrition label, and I want to look at how many grams I want to look at how many calories are coming from fat. If it's more than 50% calories from fat, it wouldn't be approved in any category on Shibboleth. If it is less than 20% calories from fat, it's a category 1 lean protein. If it's between 21 and 50, it'd be a protein plus fat. So I would just look at the back just to make sure, but most of them are going to be pretty lean, but I would just check it out just to make sure. On this pork tenderloin, sometimes you'll see some visible fat. If you see some visible fat on there, then you can just trim that off, okay? Because we use pork tenderloin, to keep us safe when we're eating some other things. You're welcome. Tiara, is Oikos 000 yogurt okay instead of plain yogurt? Yes, it's approved. It's approved. So we're using these things to keep us safe when we eat category 3s and category 5s. So if I see any visible fat on this, I'm going to trim that off. Okay, so what this row is simply telling you is that you can eat a lean protein by itself, cook it up in the appropriate oil, doctor it up with the right condiments, and you would have an excellent fat-burning meal. All right, we're going to scroll down. Now we have another category, category 2, and this is just a combination that you're looking at. Category 2 fibrous carbs, half a cup up to 1 cup. When you are in weight loss mode, I would stick with half a cup. But to tell you the truth, I've never even measured anything. I just put it underneath my hand, and if it fits, I eat it. Okay, so I don't overcomplicate things. I just put it under there and it should fit. I should not be able to see it. It works fine. So broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles, green beans. Okay, these are all category 2 fibrous carbs. Now, we're not talking about these right here, but a little bit later in tonight's webinar, I'm going to go over some category 2 fibrous carb breads that you can use, and we can also hit some more breads tomorrow night when we start looking at the food library. Okay, so what this row is saying is that you pick something from category 1 and you pick something from category 2. You cook it up in the appropriate oil, doctor it up with some right condiments, and you have an excellent fat-burning meal. In fact, if you eat chicken breast and broccoli, that is exercise on a plate. Why? Because chicken breast is pretty low calorie and broccoli is pretty low calorie. Do you know your body is probably going to expend more energy breaking that down and digesting it than what's on the plate? It's a negative calorie meal almost. That's why we call it exercise on a plate. If you wanted to make this meal, just say chicken breast and broccoli. Thank you, Patty. If you wanted this to be the fastest fat burning combination, which oil would you use? Which oil? All right. Thank y'all, Cheryl and Tiara and Angelia and Phyllis and Cindy. Awesome. And Victoria. Yeah, UDMCT oil, MCT oil. MCT is what's going to make it be the fastest fat burning combination. All right. So this is combining foods. And you're controlling insulin. You don't have anything in there that's going to bring an insulin release because you didn't elevate your blood sugar. Okay, we have a brand new category here. Category 7 shellfish. Thank you. Category 7 shellfish, 2 to 8 ounces. I didn't mention that earlier on that other category, but 2 to 8 ounces is a reasonable amount of lean protein to eat. If you're really concerned about it, women, we could go up to 6 ounces. Men, could go up to 8 ounces, but like I've never measured it. I put it underneath this hand, and if it works and it fits, and I'm not making it any thicker than the thickest part of my hand, then I just eat it. But we've got crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams. Now, category 7 shellfish is really just a what, y'all? Tell me what it is. It's really just a lean protein. That's right. Thank you, Tiara. Yes, Angie. Yes, Phyllis. Yes, it's really just a lean protein. Now, thank you, Cindy. The reason that it's not in category 1 lean protein is because due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, some people don't want to eat it. So it just got pulled off on its own little category, and we just set it right over there. That's right, Victoria. It's a lean protein. All right. So this is just saying and reinforcing that you can eat shellfish alone. You can cook it up in the appropriate oil, doctor it up with the right condiments. And like I said, this is where I see a lot of ghee butter being used, dip some crab legs or lobster tail, or make some shrimp scampi, or cook some scallops up in that. And then you can use the right condiments. Okay, now I don't have, yay, thank you, Patty. Patty's helping Victoria out over on Facebook. Thank you. So I don't have a new category to read right here, but it shows you a new combination. This is a category 7 eaten with a category 2. So all you would do is pick something from here and something from here, and you cook it up in the right oil and doctor it up with the right condiments, and you've got an excellent fat burning meal. Now, we've kind of hit some things. Did anybody see anything that they would eat together? Did anybody see anything they would eat together, whether it's from lean protein and a fibrous carb, or the shellfish lean protein and a fibrous carb? Did y'all see things that y'all would eat? That's the most important thing that we want to figure out this week, is get y'all things to eat. I hope y'all did. Okay, we have a new category. Yes, awesome, Pat. Thank you. Awesome, Candace. Wonderful. Good. Okay, Angela, I actually cannot see the Facebook doesn't show me the, we'll have to go back and look at the recording, because Patty gave her an answer over there, but I literally cannot see it anymore because Facebook took away the visible comments. They make them disappear. Like I'm not interested in seeing them. I don't know. But Patty Bass will have to tell us over here in the Zoom room, hopefully. Okay, so category 4, protein plus fat, 2 to 6 ounces. Now you'll notice that it's a little less on the ounces right there. I want to explain why. In 1 gram of protein, there's 4 calories. In 1 gram of fat, there's 9 calories. So you're getting more than double the amount of calories. So we just backed off on the ounces just a little bit. But again, I've never measured. Travis said, eat what fits underneath your hands. And that's what I do. But it did help me at a restaurant. You know, they're like, do you want a 6 ounce or an 8 ounce? I'm like, oh, 6. I'll stick with 6. So, you know, it's good to know that. But whole eggs, all cuts of steak, pork ribs, beef ribs, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa, as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. This right here is that lean ground meat. So this is 93% lean up to 95.9. Because if you hit 96 and greater, it'd be a lean protein. But 93 to 95.9 is a protein plus fat. If it is less than 93% lean on the ground meat, it is not approved for a perfect Shibboleth day. Okay, because really what they've done is they've got a whole bunch of fat and they add a little bit of meat to it and it makes it sound like it's lean, but it's really not. So when it comes to that ground processed type of meat, we're looking for this type of leanness on it. Okay. You can eat, eggs 2 for a lady, Candace. Men could go up to 3. Category, she asked how many eggs, everybody. We can eat category 4 by itself. Now, in this combination, it's listed with the 2, but you can eat category 4 by itself. Category 2, fibers, carbs, I've already read that. And then we've got our condiments. So what this combination is saying, hey, Angela, Patty just put in the recipe library for the cottage cheese stuff. Thank you. That's awesome. Category 4 can be eaten alone. But optimally, you'd eat it with a category 2 like this. And does everybody see something that they would eat together? I'd love to see some of your ideas if you want to call those out. But there's a column that is now missing. There was a column on all the other combinations above, and I said it right before the condiments each time, but it's not there anymore. Okay, Cindy would eat steak and salad. Victoria would eat the pulled pork. That's right, Denise. The oils are missing. That's right, Phyllis. That's right. We don't need, eggs and spinach. That's right, Kimberly. No oils. Now, steak and okra, all that sounds good. Good. Okay, the reason that the oils are now gone is because this is a protein plus fat. You don't really need to add additional fats to that. And I don't. Victoria said she would have asparagus and approved barbecue. Yeah. So we just don't need to add additional oils to that. Now, if you see something out there that says something different, maybe somebody had a different reason for putting that together. I don't know. But I use 0-calorie cooking spray or water or whatever else it takes to cook this, but I don't add additional fats to this right here. I don't need to. All right, category 6, superfood. So pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, all your nut butters, nuts and seeds, these are all superfoods. Now, a food qualifies to be a superfood if it has all 4 macronutrients in there. And yes, on planet Shibboleth, we consider water a macronutrient. Then in order of importance is protein, fat, and carbs. So most of your darker colored beans are a category 6 superfood. You can eat superfood by itself. It's really kind of its own little complete meal because it's got all 4 macronutrients in there. Then you can doctor it up with some condiments. All right. Let's come down here. Now this is a category 6 superfood eaten with a category 2 fibers carb. This is where Travis says you get your greens and beans. But what I like to point out right here is this is where you find peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So your nut butters are obviously right here. You would use an approved one. Now, most natural peanut butters are approved. We're not looking for anything with hydrogenated vegetable oil in it. That wouldn't be approved. But most of your natural ones are approved. And then there are some better ones. There are even better ones to use, like bettered peanut butter. it's had some of the fat pulled out of it, and so it's less calorie. That's one reason that one's so good, and it's been fortified with some extra protein. Then Nuts and More is also a high protein peanut butter, and the Peanut Butter and Company is a little bit higher protein, but then all of your naturals are approved too. Category 2, although we don't have it listed right here, there's many category 2 fibrous carbs bread. And then in your condiments, you would use sugar-free jelly. You could also use, there's a few low sugar jellies that would work, but what I purchased is the Good jam that is sweetened with stevia. And I recently purchased that at Ingles, and I even saw it at Publix yesterday. So I buy that. So you could do peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it would be a fat burning peanut butter and jelly sandwich rather than a fat storing peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you get the wrong bread and then you eat peanut butter with it, it's going to elevate your blood sugar and it's going to store the fat in the peanut butter. The wrong jelly will elevate your blood sugar and store the fat in the peanut butter as well. And while we're talking sandwiches, I'm going to scroll back up here and look at this one. This category 1 and 2. This is where you find a grilled cheese. You can also find a grilled cheese in this 4 and 2. Depends on the cheese that you choose. If you choose a fat-free cheese, it'd be a lean protein, and you find a fibrous carb bread, and then you can just use some, I can't believe it's not butter spray when I'm making that. Or right here, if I'm feeling like I want to have some Cabot extra light cheese, it's not a fat-free cheese, it's a category 4. I could still have a grilled cheese right there too. So there's even sandwiches in these combinations, lots and lots of stuff. It's called Good Jam, Shannon. Good Jam. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of options, Melissa, lots and lots of options. They have a Keto Life. The Nature Zone now has a Keto Life bread. And then there's lots of options for that. So let's come down here, and now we've got category 3. Category 3 energy carb. Ding, ding, ding. I want everybody's mind to be set to say ding, ding, ding on their favorite category 3s. The reason being is because you really need to know I'm wanting a category 3, because then you need to say which lean protein and fibrous carb am I going to have with that. So let's say, I'll read these first. You can do a 1/4 cup up to a 1/2 cup. Now, in weight loss mode, you're going to do the best if you'll stick with a 1/4 cup of this, because a 1/4 cup of this brings less of an insulin release to be dealt with. Okay, so all of your potatoes are here, oatmeal, steel cut oats, Quaker fiber and protein oatmeal, long grain brown rice, most lighter colored beans, peas, all your peas are here. I'll go over one that's the exception in just a second. Tomato, onion, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. So I'm not even going to mention pastas tonight, because we have better options for you than even whole grain and whole wheat pastas. We've got 3 that I just talk about all the time, and we'll go over those tomorrow night as we're going through the food library, okay? But carrots, when they're cooked, they're more sugary, and so you need to make sure that you have them with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. If you were just going to have some of those raw baby carrots and you do like a palmful, you could call that a freebie if you needed to. But once carrots are cooked, they are more sugary and they've got to be eaten properly. People are always surprised that tomato and onions are here, but if you have, let's see, would you just need to add a salad with chili since it's just meat, beans and meat? Well, first of all, Deborah, you want to make sure that it's an approved chili. You want to make sure it's an approved chili, and many approved chilies are just approved to be eaten alone. So when you look up some chili recipes in the recipe library, it would tell you if you needed to add something to it. You may not need to add anything to it, Deborah. And then when you look up like a canned chili or something like that in the food library, it would also say what it was. And then you can decide from there if you need to add something with it. Because if it's a category 6 superfood, you can have that by itself. But with a recipe, you just want to make sure it's the right nutrients put together. Patty says that Pam's chili in the recipe library is awesome. So you can try that one. But tomato and onion, they can be used as a condiment. So if you do a thin little slice of onion or a thin little slice of tomato, you can use that as part of your condiment. But if you are eating a 1/4 cup of tomato or onion, you really need to call that a category 3 rather than a condiment, so that you can just keep yourself safe and eat it with a 1 and a 2, or a lean protein and a category 2 fibrous carb. So all peas are here except for the chickpea, which is also a garbanzo bean, which is a lighter colored bean. So that one little bean just breaks all the rules. It happens to be a superfood. Okay, so it's a superfood. But we're going to go over tomorrow night a little activity that I would love for people to do. Just write down all the ideas that you can think of food-wise and look them up in the food library so that you can know what the foods are that you like to eat. See, if we all did this, we would look at each other's sheets and they would all be different. And that's the great thing. It's my Shibboleth. We live within the guidelines of the lifestyle, but there's so much flexibility and variety for each of our different preferences within the guidelines. Okay, so let's say that you want to have some lima beans. Okay, so you'd have about a quarter cup of lima beans. They'd sit about right there. And you need to eat that with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So let's say that you put some chicken breast here and some green beans here. So let's tell the story of this plate. When you eat the lima beans, your blood sugar is going to elevate, but you didn't overeat lima beans. Okay, so it wasn't like a major spike. It elevated. Okay, but your pancreas did secrete insulin to help deal with that blood sugar elevation. But we need to eat in a way that controls insulin, so that if later in the day or anything like that, we eat something that has a little bit of fat in it, that we've already controlled that insulin. So if you eat it, the protein in the chicken breast and the fiber in the green beans that you choose is going to neutralize the insulin release from the lima beans. It's like a science fair project every time you eat. And let's win. Let's win the science fair. So now you're going to notice too that those oils are not here, because when this elevates your blood sugar and your pancreas secretes insulin, you don't want any fat in there because it'll capture it. We call it the fat bus for a reason. It goes around and collects it, just like a bus goes around and collects people and takes them to their destination. Insulin is the fat bus. It'll go around and collect fat and take it to its destination. And I don't want it on its destination anymore. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is fruit, category 5 fruit. Now, last night I mentioned that we have 2 modes on Shibboleth: weight loss mode or maintenance mode. There's only 3 differences between the 2 modes. 1 is simply the number of holidays that you can use in a calendar month. 2 is how you eat fruit. Okay, so and 3 is your mindset. But let's talk about fruit. All fruit is in fruit. But berries, apples, oranges, and grapefruit are your lowest on the glycemic, which is sugar, the glycemic index. They're the lowest on the glycemic index. But let's say that you want to have an apple. You want to have maybe a small apple. You could make yourself an egg white spinach omelet. You could have some deli meat that's approved, use an approved wrap, and even put some lettuce and other things like that in there. You can do that. Totally fine. That's an approved combination. So, and a lot of people will have a 1 and a 2 and then have some berries, which are their 5, as a little dessert. I would probably even take some xylitol, which is a plant-based sugar. It's granular and I like it. So I'd probably sprinkle some xylitol over those berries and give it that little extra sweet crunch. It'd be just like a dessert. That'd be like having a meal and a dessert, but it would be a proper combination. You're also not going to see any oils right here, because this, even though it's fructose, which is a natural sugar, it's still going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is still going to secrete insulin. Insulin is the fat bus. Therefore, you don't want any fat in this right here. Okay, let's come down here. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of look at some different random things. They fall into categories themselves, but they are also just things people are really interested in knowing about. So there are category 2 breads. We have over 170, well, we have 177 approved breads. There's many that are category 2. Category 2 means that they are going to break down in your body more like a green bean than a bread. Less bread is always best, okay, even a category 2, but less bread is always best. And you just really don't want to have more than 100 calories, more than 100 calories worth of bread in a meal, okay, it'd be too much. La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla, Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, it's called Lewis Healthy Life bread, Bran Crisp bread, which is more like a dry cracker, not a real bread, Healthy Life hot dog buns, category 2. You can eat Hebrew National 97% lean beef franks in a hot dog bun, and it's a 1 and a 2. It's amazing. Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffins. So all of those are approved breads, many more. Approved sweeteners. It's really your preference. If it's 0 calorie, it works. Approved beverages. Obviously, you want to get your water in, and that's why I had my husband bring me some water because I need to be working on this. And my throat got dry. Nothing takes the place of your water. You want to get at least 64 ounces of clean, clear water in before you. A lot of people will ask me, well, what about something with a little squeezy drops or the little packets and stuff like that? And I always just say, it does not count as your water. But I always just make sure that I'm going to have 64 ounces of water. And if I want a little energy packet and a water, I can do that in addition to my 64, okay? Any 0 calorie beverage works, but again, it doesn't take the place of your water. Unsweet or approved tea, and then coffee with up to 15 calories of approved sweetener. You can do that. Then we've got all kinds of cheese. Cheese is, it depends on which cheese you're using, whether it's a category 1 or a category, sorry, there's a little nap, category 1 or whether it's category 4. Just depends on if it's fat-free or if it's got a little bit of fat in it. All your fat-free cheeses are going to be a category 1 lean protein. Now, this is saying that you can use this as a condiment. That's right, Patty. Patty says if you wouldn't take a bath in it, then it doesn't count as your water. That's funny. I haven't said that in a while. But Capit Extra Light Cheese, this is a category 4 protein plus fat just because you've got a little bit of fat in there, okay? But this is kind of talking about using cheese as condiments, which you can. It's just that it can also be used as a category. Now, this is very important to know. The lean protein milk is very important. Why is it so important? Because do you know that regular whole milk is fat storage in a jug? It is sugar and fat, and sugar and fat go together is a bad combo. So what this milk is, it's fat-free. It's also been fortified with protein. It's also lactose-free. So if you have a lactose issue, it is lactose-free. Now, this is a category 1 lean protein, and we also use it as many other things. You know, some people will use it as a meal replacement. It's also used as what we call a perfect pairing. A perfect pairing is something that doesn't quite follow the combination rules, but it will still work if it's done just as it's described in the food library. This is often done a lot of times with cereals. So it's called a perfect pairing when eaten with cereal. There's fat-free Fairlife milk, which can pretty much be found all over the country. And this Kroger Carb Master milk is where Kroger's are. But what I like about this is they've got milk flavor, but they've also got vanilla milk flavor and chocolate milk flavor. And I use them all. Let's see. Okay, so fat-free cheese. I buy some fat-free cheese at Ingles and at Publix. And then I get the Kroger fat-free cream cheese. Now, personally, y'all, I don't like fat-free shredded. It doesn't appeal to me, so I don't eat it. So let's say that I'm making something like some eggs and I was going to put some cheese in it. I just take a slice of Borden fat-free, which I really like the flavor of it. I tear it up into little shreds and I put it there. So, but if you cannot find it, this right here, this Lifetime fat-free cheese, Travis says this is the best fat-free cheese, and he buys it from them and they mail it to his house. So Lifetime fat-free cheese. So you may want to check that out. Yes. Well, April, one of the reasons that you're not finding a lot of this fat-free stuff is because keto has taken over, and it's just the trends that are going on out there. But I do buy the Borden fat-free regularly at Ingles and at Publix. The Cabot extra light cheese I always find at Publix for sure. I think I've also bought it at Ingles. And I buy the Kroger brand fat-free cream cheese. That's just what I do. Now the shreds, like the Kraft fat-free shredded cheese, I find that at Walmart. Oh, and we bought some at Publix too. We bought some at Publix. It's hit or miss. Just when you go into these places, I always scan and look for it and see if you can go ahead and pick some up and pick up some extra. But the Lifetime fat-free, you can just have it mailed to your house. Breadings and flours, we got coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, Bob's Red Mill, TVP. TVP is a textured vegetable protein. It's a soy product. And then we've got almond flour. So all of these things are actually category 2 fibrous carbs. So those can be used in that way, which is absolutely amazing. Now, Carb Quick is really your replacement for flour or Bisquick. It's a baking mix. Now, if you buy Carb Quick, make sure that you don't use any of the recipes that are on the box. They did not take into account the other Shibboleth item rules when they were putting those on their box, because they aren't concerned with us. So don't use their recipes. But if you go into the Carb Quick listing in the food library, there's over 6 pages of recipes that include Carb Quick in it. Yes, and Patty says that she makes awesome. Thank you, Patty, for mentioning that. That's good. Yeah, there are other options for fat-free cheese. You just want to be aware of what category it's in and how you can use it. And Carb Quick's great. She makes biscuits and pancakes with them also. Now, here's some cereals. This is just a few little cereals. Kashi Go Lean Original, K's Natural Cereal, and High-Low Nutritious Living. So those are 3 just cereals that you can use. And I'm going to pop over into the food library real quick. And I'm going to go right here to the green area, resources, foods, and recipes. And I'm going to click on food library. And over here on the side, we've got phase 1 and phase 2 cereal. I don't want you to get over concerned with, phase 1, phase 2. What's all this phase 1? It's really nothing but more variety. Phase 1 and phase 2 is living the lifestyle. It's living the lifestyle. You're doing it. You're getting it down. Phase 2 opened up things like Crafton Crunch, opens up things like Cocoa Puffs and things like that, or Reese Puffs or whatever they are. So phase 1 cereal. If you want one of the phase 1 cereals, you actually can have any approved milk with a phase 1 cereal. There's your list of phase 1 cereals. There's even Special K right there. Kellogg's All Brand. Okay, now you can get some better ones on the weight loss meter. We're going to talk about the weight loss meter tomorrow. It's really another way to categorize foods. Like, there's categories of foods, but within the categories, some foods are better than others for weight loss, and that's what the weight loss meter is. But let's click on category 2. I mean, not category 2. Phase 2 cereal. Phase 2 cereal doesn't mean that you went higher quality in the cereal. It just means that they will work. They're just about they're just about all they're all zeros basically on the weight loss meter. But if you're having one of these cereals, you must have that lean protein milk with it. They can't be eaten dry, and you've got to have that lean protein milk with it, because even the best cereals are a bit starchy, and you've got to have no fat in there to collect it. And you also need to have some protein in it to offset the starchiness. So that's why they work, and that's why we call them a perfect pairing. So it's a Captain Crunch with a high protein milk. So you just have to make your choices based on that. And these really aren't that, they're not that super phenomenal for weight loss. It just means these aren't going to help you, aren't going to hurt you. Zeros on the weight loss meter. Okay. But they're approved, and it would still be a perfect day. And there's a lot of options right there. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've gone over tonight? Otherwise, in lap 2, this is where that link is to this website, that this webinar that we did tonight. It's right there. So all you got to do is click right there, and you can access this list yourself. And then you can say, okay, I would eat fish with broccoli. I would eat fish with asparagus. I would eat fish with squash. I would eat fish with okra. You know, you could just, I mean, it's never ending list of things. Then you go chicken breast. Okay. I'd eat chicken breast with green beans. I would eat chicken breast with broccoli. I would eat chicken, you know, it's just literally writing down ideas of foods. And then it's getting your foods in the house. Get approved foods in the house. That's what you want. Okay, Beth says, how can you eat apples and bananas? So they would be a fruit right here. And apples or bananas, which by the way, it's half a banana is a serving, not a whole banana. Fruit must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So you could eat an apple as a little side item to an approved sandwich or an approved wrap. You could eat it with as a dessert with any approved 1 and 2. And apples are better than bananas. Bananas are pretty sugary. Apples are lower on the glycemic index. But as long as you eat it with a category 1 and 2, you're all good. So let's say that you like apples and maybe some chicken salad. What if you got some chicken, you chopped it up, you got some celery, which is a category 1, then you chopped up some apples, and then you put a tablespoon or whatever the appropriate amount is of a fat-free mayonnaise and a little bit of seasoning, you'd actually have a yummy little chicken salad. So you can, there's creativeness, lots of creativeness that is going on in Shibboleth. You just need to eat it in the proper food combination. Tomorrow night, we are going to go over the food library, and on Wednesday night, we're going over the recipe library. So I do want y'all to make sure that you come back for those nights, because they're very, very important to have a place where you can look for lots of foods. Okay. Well, I hope that y'all have enjoyed tonight. Please join me in the morning for the Shibby Show, which is on the public Facebook page around 7:30, 7:40-ish. And then tomorrow night, we'll be going over the food library and the timing chart, which is one of my favorite weight loss management tools. We're going to be going over that. And if you do not have a membership yet, please get a membership at shibbolethdeals.com. shibbolethdeals.com. Thank you, Patty. And the membership right now is $50 for a year. That's nothing. We're not asking for it monthly. We're not asking for it weekly. That's for a year, $50. So go ahead and grab your membership. You're welcome, Denise. I'm so glad you were here with us. Y'all, as we go off of here, my prayer for you is right over here, over my shoulder. Keep them safe day and night. Give them courage, strength, and might. I'll see you tomorrow.